Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Is Jesse Palmer a better host than Chris Harrison? Well, there's a new article that came out, so let's see what they have to say. My answer, you know what? I'll get to my answer in a second on what I think, because I do like to look at the ins and outs of what they bring to the table, and they do bring something very different to the table. Jesse Palmer has proven that he's the perfect Bachelor franchise replacement for Chris Harrison. This is by Collider.com. Bachelor franchise has been a part of viewers' lives since 2002. It has become a classic, spawning spin-offs like The Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, and The Golden Bachelor. Besides having a strong lead, it is also important that the franchise host is someone who can have a good rapport with the contestants and be the confidant for them whenever they are feeling the pressure of the competition. For years, the main host of the Bachelor franchise was Chris Harrison. He was on the show since it started and has become the face of the franchise for many years. Still, after 2021, he stepped aside after he made some remarks attempting to defend one of the contestants from a comment she had made in the past, which doesn't exactly explain what it was. He was less defending Rachel Kirkconnell and more trying to, well, it's complicated, but I don't think she made comments. It was from a photo, and he was just saying, hey, let's wait and see how it all plays out. My thought the whole time was that he was buying time for the show, and they would have addressed it afterwards, but they kind of put the contestants in a gag order, so she wasn't commenting on it, which made it way worse. After 2021, he stepped aside. After he made some remarks, after Harrison was let go, the question on everyone's mind was who would be the person to replace him in such an iconic role. It was a time of trial and error after Harrison, Tayshia Adams, and Caitlin Bristow took over the role for 2 seasons of The Bachelorette. It made sense when Caitlin and Tayshia took over because they had both been in the main role for prior seasons and could relate even more to the main contestants. Still, even though they hosted 2 seasons of the franchise, the network decided to move in a different direction for the newest season and brought in Jesse Palmer as the main host of the franchise. It was a surprising choice, but he has experience appearing in Food Network shows and hosting Good Morning America. Since he started hosting season 19 of The Bachelorette, he has shown he has what it takes to be the franchise's new face, and even being the Bachelor himself in the earlier years of the show has helped him understand the contestants on a deeper level. We can't forget the terrible take by Nick Viall where he was like, what makes Jesse Palmer a good guy? Can you believe it? Nick thought he would be a better host than Jesse Palmer. Jesse Palmer is a 10 out of 10. He's actually really funny. In a goofy way. He somehow takes these great looks he has and he's able to still bring himself down to the average person's level. I mean, it's quite amazing. He's really, really good. I knew this going in. It doesn't take much to see, oh shoot, he's already successful on these other shows. You're not just given these other shows just because you're a good looking guy. Like, you know, you got to be good at what you do. Chris Harrison, conventionally not, you know, he's attractive, sure, but like in a different way. He was more of a father or uncle figure, and he didn't really have much humor. He was very, very, very much the straight man, whereas Jesse Palmer is quite goofy. He's quite goofy. I think they could actually play into that more and have more of Jesse Palmer, but they probably don't want to steal the show from the leads. Jesse Palmer is no stranger. Before getting the gig as host, he was the Bachelor for the show's 5th season. When he was chosen as the Bachelor, he was a 25-year-old professional football player looking for love and expecting to be married by the end of the process. His tenure may be long ago, but many Bachelor viewers will never forget how Palmer confused contestants' names and gave out the wrong rose during a rose ceremony. During the rose ceremony, he meant to give a rose to a contestant named Karen, but instead gave it to Katie. Innocent mistake. After he hands out the rose, he immediately tells Chris Harrison, that wasn't the girl I wanted to give it to. I was staring at Karen, offering her the rose, and I said, Katie. And then in my peripheral vision, another woman started walking. That's when I thought to myself, darn it, I screwed up. This is so funny. Oh, this is great. He's so iconic. All right, what's the point of this article? Besides forgetting someone's name, Jesse did something else notable on The Bachelor. He ended the season with a girlfriend and not a fiance. Jesse decided to stay true to himself and follow his gut instinct when choosing between finalists Jessica and Tara. Ultimately, he decided Jessica was the winner, but the two did not get engaged. Jesse said he was not ready to propose to her, feeling they needed more time to grow and learn about each other. Even though the two continued their relationship, they broke things off a month after their finale aired, marking one of the shortest relationships in Bachelor history. Thanks to these moments, though, Jesse prepared to host the franchise since he experienced it firsthand. He brought the spark back, baby! When Jesse became the host of The Bachelor, it was hard at first to truly accept the franchise without Chris Harrison as the host. But he came with great chemistry and energy. When he stepped into the role as the host of Clayton's season, he understood the many emotions that Clayton was feeling as the Bachelor. Harrison might have tried to relate beforehand, but with Jesse having experienced the process, he guides the contestants and even opens their eyes to more possibilities in some instances. Besides being a guide to the leads, he has shown he truly cares for them, as seen with Clayton, Gabby, and Rachel, whom he also helped during their seasons. He's not afraid of showing his goofy side when necessary. All right, so it's a real fluff piece. And, of course, with Joey's season, we saw that he was willing to go back and forth with, playing tennis every episode. He's to be quite honest, I'd watch a non-Bachelor show with Jesse Palmer now that I've gotten to know his personality. Maybe they could do a side show where he tries all of the gourmet dinings of all of the places they travel. Thanks to Joey and Jesse Palmer, the spark missing from one of the most loved franchises is back, and viewers cannot wait to see how Jesse will help Bachelorette Jen Tran through her journey. And there's the article. All right, yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think. It was a short one, but I thought I'd share it with you. You know what? Let's actually do this. This article was posted on Reddit. Reddit, of course, can be one of the most judging audiences, and I have to tell you, when I'm getting choked up here and I'm out of cold brew. No, when Jesse Palmer was in talks to replace Chris Harrison, a lot of people commented, "What's this? Just another basic white guy?" And the only thing I could think was, for anybody to think of Jesse Palmer as a basic white guy, he's a 5-tool athlete. This is a guy that's got the looks, the strength, the height, the charisma, the humor. I mean, he's got a lot going on. So anyway, let's just see what some people commented here. I'm sure now people agree, but there was a lot of cynicism. Oh, will he be able to do the job? He's nailed it. He feels more down to earth than Chris Harrison, and like he wants the show to maintain a moral compass on a level his predecessor did not. And again, Chris Harrison did it for 20 years. I'm sure there came a time where he just didn't have his heart in it anymore. I'm not getting enough Jesse so far this season. Dude is so much better of a host than Chris Harrison. It's so funny how fast he got out of there during the argument. Feel like even he can tell these guys aren't worth it. This is definitely an upgrade from Chris Harrison. Jesse is an experienced host and broadcaster and brings a certain lightness that is needed to the show. Chris was at times creepy and insensitive, especially towards women on the show. I don't know how he was creepy. And other times he was flat out rude to cast members. You know, what I would love about Jesse Palmer is if he was single, if the women had a chance to choose to date him, if they know, like, say Joey didn't give a rose to Maria, could then Maria be like, well, I want to choose Jesse for a date, and then they go off. What I'm trying to say is I want to see Maria and a single version of Jesse date. I understand Jesse's happily married and whatever, but a boy can have his dream. Maybe there's a parallel universe we can tap into where Jesse Palmer is just, anyway, my thoughts have gotten a hold of myself. All right, there's your video. Is Jesse a better host than Chris? I've yet to see anyone sort of pimp for Chris. Hey, Chris had his fan base. He was like family. But I think, what we, didn't realize is there is, anyone, I guess this is a good note for anyone out there. Be careful, be humble. Everybody can be replaced. All right, that's it for me. I'll be on the podcast this afternoon, the Rush Hour with Dave Neal. We'll see you then.